It's all part of BBC Sports look at the sustainability issues and credentials of the Paris Games.
Yeah, we're going to be checking in with them every day here on Drive and Breakfast, speaking to various members of the team. Let's see how far they've got on day one. And we can speak to Olympic gold medal winning cyclist Chris Boardman. Hello, Chris.
Good afternoon.
How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah.
We set off from the National Cycling Centre in Manchester about 11 o'clock this morning. We've gone through the Peak District. I'm now sitting in a tiny, I think it could be called a hamlet, Earl Sterndale, under a massive sycamore tree, to talk to you en route to Ashbourne. So we're about 40 miles into our 550-mile trip, and it's been very wet so far. We have experienced climate change, all of it, in the last couple of hours.
Yeah, well, look, it's a great effort you're making. I'm going to bow out because I thought hang on, I'm speaking to an Olympian. There's an Olympian alongside me here. I think we should have a meeting of minds. Jeanette Quach is here.
Oh, thank you. You say we're everywhere, Chris. For you though, this is a big deal, isn't it? Because I know it's really for you a really important issue, and for a lot of people now, they're looking at things like the Olympic Games and thinking, if you're going to move with the future and move with the times, how do you become more sustainable? Is that something you've been thinking about?
Well, it was an idea that was actually thought up by Dame Sarah Story last year when we were having a coffee, and she said, for the Paralympics, I think I'm going to ride to Paris. And I thought, ooh, that's a good idea. And then I thought about, so Paris is obviously the Olympic Games, aiming to be the most sustainable Olympic Games ever. And alongside that, Paris is transforming it. Oh,
someone's cheating.
Scrambler bikes. Paris is transforming itself into a sustainable city. There's now more bike trips in Paris than there are car trips. It is nearly 10 years since the Paris Accord was signed for climate change, and we thought, well, why not go there on the most sustainable vehicle possible, make the most sustainable journey we could, and visit some projects en route, not just to raise awareness, because people are swamped with anxiety about this, but also to sow some hope and visit projects where people are already doing some great stuff, and making sure that we can practice sport for many years to come.
And it is important because we're looking at multi-sport events across the world, across the globe. They happen all the time, but even major events like World Cups or European Championships, and all of these organisations really do have to look at their sustainability, especially if they're going to future-proof.
Well, they do. I mean, we're losing 120,000 grassroots football games a year now due to flooded pitches, and that's how it interacts with our life. And people don't connect what's going on in their life with climate change, so they just see it as, on Thursday night, oh, we can't go to the footy because the pitch is flooded, and then the next week we can't go, and then they go, you know what, I'm going to find something else to do. And that's actually happening now. And if it's 40 degrees heat outside, you can't go and ride your bike all day. So it is already happening to us. And the biggest danger, I guess, is it becomes normalised. So, yes, we have to do something about it. And sport is perfectly placed to lead. It's both affected by it, but we're also in every community emotionally connected. And if we had some big sports stars, for example, decided to say, you know what, when I'm in Europe, I'm not going to stop flying, but when I'm in Europe, I'm going to get the train. Who's with me? Can you imagine the impact that would have? And we've just done a survey, and the majority of kids that we surveyed said, we really want our sports stars to stand up for this. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think we can see there is a shift, isn't there, in society when thinking about sustainability. Last year, for the athletics, we broadcast from Budapest, and a significant proportion of the production team took a train from Salford all the way to Budapest in Hungary. So it is something that, of course, BBC Sport are thinking about. But how much of a challenge is it for those on the bike? Are people struggling already on day one?
Well, I am.
I don't believe
that's the only person that matters. It's we're having different guests every day. I think Oliver is going to come along. We've got a few that I can't talk about yet, which are quite exciting. So we're having guests come and take on single legs of the challenge. Dame Catherine Grange is going to be here, and I think we're going to have some good fun, actually. Steve Baxrell as well. He's obviously got a stake in climate change. So lots of different people to talk to and projects to visit en route.
And remind me again, Chris, how many miles is it?
550 miles, and we are 40 miles in.
Tell me how many miles you do regularly now as a retired cyclist, or retired professional cyclist, I should say.
I go out for a couple of hours quite regularly. I live part-time for about a third of the year. I live in the Cairngorms. So I've got tracks and trails outside the door, literally, and I absolutely love that, to be able to just go out, stretch the eye, take some photographs, and then come back and do some Zoom meetings. So almost by accident, it's sustainable, less journeys, and getting in some exercise as well.
Oh, well, padded shorts and bibs at the ready. Where to next?
Well, Ashbourne tonight, and then I haven't even looked at tomorrow. But we're doing about the same kind of difference, same kind of distance every day for the next 8 days. Get us down to the coast through London, then we'll drop onto the ferry, and then 2 days batter to Paris. And
you arrive in Paris a couple of days ahead of the opening ceremony. Will you
on the 23rd? Yeah.
Yes. Will you be staying in Paris to watch the games?
I'm working on it for the BBC.
Oh,
I do the commentary on the cycling events, and cycling, as you might know, is spread right the way through the games. So we've got the time trials first, all the way through to the track events. So yeah, I'm going to be involved throughout. And I know Paris through riding the Tour de France and my own background with it. And as I mentioned at the start, I'm going to go and have a look at what's happening in Paris and the transformation since 2019 with the bike revolution.
Well, Chris, we wish you the best of luck. Like I say, keep those padded shorts and bibs close, and we'll see you in Paris. Great stuff. That is Olympic gold medal winning cyclist Chris Boardman on his way to Paris. It's day one.
The voice of the UK.
This is 5 Live Drive.
It is. It's Drive with Tony and Jeanette. The latest headlines then on Drive this afternoon. England's footballers have thanked Gareth Southgate after he announced it was time for a new chapter. 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 It was time